Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm going to be talking about all the things I read in October. First of all, side note, look how aggressive this spot is on my head. Who decided to invite him? I do not know. But anyway. First up, I read The Other Ones by Fran Hart. Yes, the cover was definitely the reason why. There's a pumpkin on it, it's orange, October, you know what I mean? This one I really enjoyed, it was really fun. It's like a tiny little bit of sprinkling of spooky, but mostly it's like found family, actual family, friends, relationships, being the weird outsiders and becoming together, being weird outside together. That's pretty much what it's about. So we're following our main character, I'm terrible with names, Sal, and he lives in this house that may or may not be haunted with his sister, and then this random new guy turns up and wants to see in the house and help him dispel the ghosts. But it's just about them becoming friends and getting into the same friend group, and just really cute and lovely and wholesome, and like I said, found family-ish. Even though one of the found family people is his sister, like the real family has got his sister there. They do have some family issues, they have some arguing, they have some disagreements and stuff. But yeah, it's just basically a really nice, sweet book. So if you don't like the spooky Halloweeny, this is definitely good. Next, I read these ones throughout the month, but I'm just going to put them all together because it's all the same series. So I read volume 1 to 4 of Lock and Key, or reread I should say, because I have read these ones before. If you saw my recent haul, you would have seen that I got all of these, and I reread the first one, which is Welcome to Lovecraft, then Head Games, Crown of Shadows, and Keys to the Kingdom. And yeah, these were just an absolute great time. I've definitely reread the first one before. I've read that one 3 times now, I think, and the other ones twice. But yeah, it's just a great series. It's about these kids that basically at the beginning of it, their dad is murdered. It's right at the beginning of the story. I don't think it's spoilers, but maybe it is. And then they go and live in his old house, the Lock House. And loads of weird stuff starts happening. There's all these keys about. They can all do weird, crazy, magical, weird things. So, for example, there's one that opens a door and you go through it and you can be an animal. There's another one where it makes you really big. There's another one where you can get inside people's minds. All that jazz. And then there's also this guy who is creeping about wanting to find the fanciest keys to do all the bad stuff. So yeah, it's really good, it's really gruesome. There's a lot of like horror-y aspects of it. I'll give you a little plonk of the artwork in here. I don't know if that gives you much. Let me just, here's some more. But yeah, I just really enjoyed my reread of it. I wanted to reread them all and then read the last the last volume, which is the only one that I've not read yet, and then the little short story collection as well. So yeah, had a lot of fun rereading these. I also read The Dark Lady by Akala. I did have this physically, but I have unhauled it. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. It didn't wow me, but I didn't hate it. It's set in like the 1600s, if I remember correctly. It's about this boy, and it's like Shakespearean, and he likes doing stories. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like set in the old school, but also there's a bit of magic prevalent, but like magic's not a massive part of it, but it's also quite a thing that's twist through it. So there is magical elements. It's definitely fantasy elements, but it's also a lot just like set in the world at the time. It also uses a lot of slang from back in the day, so right at the back of the book there was a few pages saying this word means this now, so that was very helpful. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but like I say, it wasn't like amazing, it didn't wow me. I would definitely read more Akala things. I've read his non-fiction Natives, which was absolutely amazing, and this was the first fiction book that I've read by Akala. I don't even know if he's done any others actually. But yeah, I enjoyed it, so I would definitely give him another read, but it wasn't enjoyable enough for me to keep the book, let's just say, because it was a hardback, so it took up a lot of space. It was alright. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's gone. We're about halfway through. I read so many Lock and Key things that I don't really have to talk about loads of individual stuff, so let's head on over to a message from one of the spawns, and then I'll be back with the other books. Well, you're just adorable, aren't you? Hi. Next, I read Some Places More Than Others by Renee Watson. I read this on my library app thing. I've read one of Renee Watson's books previously. The title of it is not coming to me right now, but I enjoyed it, so I saw this one and thought, yeah, I'll give that a read. This one was middle grade, whereas the other one I read was YA, but I enjoyed both of them. I thought they were both really good. This one is about this girl who wants to go to New York because her family has moved from New York to where she is now, but she's never got to experience that sort of stuff, and it's all about family connections, learning about your past, your history, your like life and everybody around you's life. And yeah, I thought it was really good. It was really nice middle grade. It was set around, there was a assignment at a school where they had to make a suitcase all about their family and put in like pictures and keepsakes and stories from their past and stuff. So it was a really nice way of like having the story and being able to put it together in a way that makes sense. She's not just going around asking questions for no reason. It's like for a project. And there was a lot about history of like black Americans as well, because she is black. So they go to different places in New York, in Harlem, that have like specific things to do with people from the past. Next up, I read Camp by L.C. Rosen. And this one was just a fun time as well. This is based on a camp that's just all LGBTQIA plus people exist in there. And I didn't actually know anything about the storyline, I just knew that and I was like, that sounds fun. But basically the main character has been going to this camp for several years and he comes back sort of rejuvenated into a different person. He has a different nickname, he's like more jockey rather than like campy, because there's this boy that he really likes and he wants to get to know him and he wants him to know him as a person rather than like, oh, you're one of those gays that wears makeup and likes drag and likes theatre, I don't want to interact with you. So it was very much about breaking down stereotypes. There was people doing things wrong, obviously like pretending you're a different person, not the best, but there was a lot of talk about how people treat certain people, how different gay people exist, and you shouldn't say they're better than them because they wear makeup and they don't, so they're like more acceptable in society or whatever. So there's a lot of things around that, but also it was just a really cute sort of romancy sort of thing going together. There's the friend group there as well, so yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Next up, I randomly read The Lover by Sylvia Marino Garcia, is what I think I've written down on my post-it note right there, but I think she's an author that people know. Like American Gothic, is that a book? I think that's a book by her and she's like big in the Gothic scene. I've never read any of them books, but this book was, I think it was one of the Amazon Kindle first read things where you get to download it for free. I think I found it anyway for free and I thought I'll give that a go. It's October, I don't really know about gothic-y reads, I'll read it, and I enjoyed it. It was fine. It wasn't the best thing in the world. It was very middling again. I have quite a few things that are like, yeah, it's alright. I think probably because it's a short story. I already know in myself that like it takes a lot for a short story to actually get a high rating from me, because I feel like you don't have enough time with the characters or enough time with the storyline or the pacing or whatever. So I already know that it's like not easy for me to be like, oh my god, this short story is the best thing ever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's about these girls that live in this place. It's like fantasy-ish. Well yeah, because there's like a wolf and guy. But yeah, anyway, it's about this girl and she did this ritual or something, and basically the ritual is like, oh, you're gonna find your husband in the woods. So she's looking out for her husband in the woods, and then some stuff happens. I don't want to say more than that because it is a short story, so it's not like a lot more than that, so you know, I don't want to do spoilers. But I enjoyed it. The writing was decent, the storyline was interesting, but there's just like not enough for me. Like I mentioned, short story king, not really me, but it was fine. there you go. My first foray into this author that a lot of people know and love. I also read another short story, and again, if you watched my recent haul, you would see when I talked about the most recent Rat Queens, it had the word magic in it, and I was like, oh my days, I could have read this for the buzzword readathon thing that goes throughout the year, because in October the word was magic, and I didn't think I had anything with the word magic on, but I got volume 5, I think, of Rat Queens for my birthday, and it has the word magic in, and I could have read that, but I had not read what the title was. It was just Rat Queens 5 to me. So I went on my Kindle because I didn't have any other book with the word magic in, and I found this random book called The Magician. So that's what I read. It was very short. This was by Rebecca Searle, is what I think I've written there. My writing is not fantastic. But yeah, this was about this woman, and she's talking about her mum, and her mum's a magician, and she can float. Like, her main trick is being able to float at the end. And it's just about her family, her mum getting older, her still not knowing if the floating is an actual trick or whether she actually can levitate. And it's just very short, and there's not much to it. Again, it was fine, it was alright. I read it, it was a thing. I should have read Rat Queens 5, realistically. But yeah, it was a thing that I read, and it was alright. And then, last but not least, I read Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This actually took me quite a while to read. I was dipping in and out of it, I think, again, because I had so many different things that I was doing in October. I just kept picking it up and putting it down. But every time I picked it up, I really, really enjoyed it. And then I put it down for a while, and then I picked it up again. I really, really enjoyed it. And then I really liked it. It was really good. It made me cry. It's a good time. I didn't really know anything about it going in. I didn't want to know anything about it going in. When I read House in the Cerulean Sea, I had no knowledge of it, and I loved it. And I wanted the same with this book. All I knew was the main character was dead, and then the book happens after he's dead. And yeah, it's just really nice. I wouldn't say there's like a massive storyline. A lot of it just takes place in this little tea place, which is really cozy and sweet, and about an arsehole character learning to not be an arsehole as much anymore. And it was just wholesome, and again, found family vibes. Mentioned that earlier in this video. Found family vibes. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, it made me cry, which is a tick for me. And yeah, I really enjoy TJ Klune's writing. I just love his writing style, and I love his characters, because he just likes writing characters that are a bit grumpy, they're a little bit either annoying or unlikable or grumpy middle-aged man, and I enjoy that because I feel like it's not something you see very often. Like this book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, was similar. Had to be a normal person, also had like this grumpy character, the main character. I just really enjoy that vibe, so yes, thank you. Loved this book. It was the perfect thing to end on. And there we go, those were everything I read in October. Let me know down below what you guys read in October. Again, for like the 3rd or 4th months in a row, I feel like I'm reading quite a lot of like Middle East stuff, but then also some good stuff, and not anything terrible, so it's fine. Like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, all that jazz, and I will see you in a few days with another video.